Hello, I'm Bill Talty, a volunteer at Awake. I mostly do the video editing to produce YouTube videos from Pastor Dodge's Sunday messages, from the Bible classes. Sometimes there's sections of Kevin's worship service, and we produce sometimes short videos, excerpts from classes and other things that seem especially apt to the times. I've been working from home, as has everyone at Awake, ever since the COVID crisis was mandatory. But in thinking on how it's changed, there's been a sort of a constant general trend. One of the things that Awake believes in is that we are directed by God. We have some people who receive a prophetic word, and also, of course, we search the Bible diligently to see what it is that the church is to be about. And one of the things that's been told to us from the beginning is that we should keep things simple. There are other things, perhaps more important things, or more striking things, that Awake is to preach a message of repentance and of revival, that we should reach people across the nation and around the world using all the available and all the new methods of online communication, which means basically we're primarily an online ministry. And we were also told at one point near the beginning that someday we would be worshiping in our homes. We didn't know what that meant at the time, but now, of course, that's what we are all doing, have all been doing. And even though we can now get together in small groups sometimes or meet face-to-face occasionally, we really are primarily worshiping in our homes. One of the ways that we've been pushed to make things simple and keep them simple was in our video ministry. We'd use the footage that's stored on our live stream provider from the live stream. It's not as high a quality, but we find it makes adequate videos, especially since our viewers have changed. 5 years ago, probably most people viewed our things on either a big TV screen or big computer screen or even a sizable laptop screen. But now Ann, our media coordinator, is able to track not only how many people are viewing, but what kinds of devices they are using. We have found that most people who view Awake materials are viewing them either on a tablet or on their phone. That means they're mostly seen on a smaller screen, and our quality of production works well there. That's also important because we have people around the world who view our materials. And in many places, people may not have a big television or even a small one. But nowadays, just as in the old days, people had radio and listened to radio ministry, pretty much everyone either has or they have a friend or family member who has a smartphone. So that's often how people in other countries are viewing us. I go online now from home after the live stream and download the video, just put it into the video editor, process it, and then upload it to YouTube. Our media coordinator, Ann, uses the videos either from YouTube or from our live stream provider to make posts on social media, which is actually where now most of our new viewers come from. People viewing it there for the first time, people sharing it with friends and relatives. So that really is doing what we were supposed to do, using the media that now exists to its fullest extent to promote the gospel and the message of God's love and forgiveness. Well, in the other videos on working from home, the other people in Awake are sharing what it means for them. What it's meant for me is things actually aren't that much different, except I no longer have to go into the office by bus. And also because the office had regular hours, I'm free at home to work, to start early if I want. I tend to get up early and do work there. So I would say it's simplified things and also made it possible for me to work more efficiently. As far as the rest of the office, I discovered, although I do miss seeing people on a regular basis, we all discovered we can do what we were already doing from home, online, and when possible for careful in-person visits. What did I have at the office physically that I didn't have here? Well, a bigger workspace, which I didn't really need a bigger desk, that is. Oh, paper clips, pens, well, I have those at home on our little work desk. I kept trays full of papers that I never looked at. I had to throw them all out when we left. Sorry, put them in recycling. And I had a number of reference books I brought from home, which I almost never opened because it was easier to look it up online. And of course, that's what I do now. So now my workspace is greatly simplified, everything in handy reach. When it isn't in use, I keep some of it in a big laptop bag in the closet and a little of it in an old backpack that's also hanging in the closet, so it's out of sight. But here is what my desk looks like when I'm using it. First of all, you'll see that here is our dining room table, and it's bare of everything except the napkin holder. Well, when I settle down to work, I first take out my protective plastic roll because it's a new dining room table, and I've been urged by my wife to avoid scratching it. Unroll the pad, then lay out the laptop and power cord and mouse. And here's a picture of when I've opened it to my home screen. And here is the works. The laptop is open to editing one of the Bible classes. And on the left, you'll see are all my storage drives because I'm really fanatical about backing everything up just in case. And on the right is the mouse and my little notebook. I use that when we watch Bible class or Pastor Dodge's segment with a message and make any notes that I need to on maybe color that needs to be adjusted, or if there's a gap while Pastor Dodge is looking for something, I can shorten that. Anything that can be fixed in video editing. And I also take notes of things that he says, both for my own benefit and also when it comes to posting a video to YouTube, I put on I put on the tile you see at the front, the video picture. And I also add a description, and there's something called tags that you don't see, but they're supposed to help guide people to interested in a particular topic. And I find that useful for my notes. And behind it is just the cloth cases I keep the backup drives in. It's a little crowded, as you see, but it's everything is close to hand, and I usually don't have everything on the table at once. So when I'm done for the day, I simply roll everything up, put it away, as you see in this little montage I'm showing, and there is our dining room table again, ready for its regular family use. So you can see it's simple, it's more efficient than a big desk that's full of stuff I never even use. And I found it works very well. I did say that I miss seeing people at the office in person, but of course with COVID we had to miss that anyway. And instead of that, what we do is the four of us at the office, and sometimes Pastor Dodge too, will meet on Wednesday morning for a messenger video chat. That means you can, if you haven't used that sort of thing, that you can see all the faces on the screen, so you can see expressions and read expressions. And of course you can hear each other. And we usually meet for hour and a half maybe for just share things that have been going on with us, concerns, successes, prayers, any news that has to be passed around. And of course, during the week, we can always communicate, if not by messenger, then by email or the old-fashioned phone call. So it's different, but in some ways it's easier. For example, we couldn't meet with Pastor Dodge physically. He was always meeting, obviously, from Michigan by video chat with the board when we were in the office. And now, of course, everyone is worshiping from home. We look forward to being able to get together again in person. We know we can always be in touch with each other online. Communion was something that we did in person when we were all meeting together. But once we started meeting at homes, we started doing it in people's homes, and Pastor Dodge usually, but sometimes Kevin would lead us in communion. And it was different, but that way you don't have to be there physically, and people around the world can worship with us and participate in communion. Now, for us, we found that we liked having something special for communion. So my wife, Christine, went out. Well, actually, she didn't. She went online and found some little ceramic cups that are suitable for wine or grape juice. And she also, first we used some sort of flatbread because that's what was used at the Passover supper, unleavened bread. And then she found actual matzah bread, but you don't actually have to look for that. Wine or grape juice, and you don't really need special containers, but we sort of like to have something special. And some sort of flatbread. And one of the pastors leads us online in communion. And occasionally, we've had group online events, I think twice for communion, and a couple times, at least once for prayer, in which people can sign up for Zoom meetings. And that way you can see other people that you haven't seen in person for a long time and really have a group experience of worshiping and taking communion. So here at Awake, it's been a journey of finding new ways, or having new ways that were told to us, simpler ways, but still having the same mission. And sometimes people can find change hard, but it can also be exciting. So we are eager to see what's next, what God would have us do next. This is Bill Talty from Awake.